In the final days of the Horus Heresy, the system of Beta-Garmon became the last line of defense before Holy Terra itself. Countless men and war machines were thrown headlong into the maelstrom of battle. At the outskirts of Nicron City, you are insignificant. The god machines of Legio Mortis and the Sons of Horus attempt to strike the decisive blow. The Blood Angels rise to meet the challenge and bring Titan wings of their own. Throughout this battlefield, legions of men, tanks, aircraft, and Titans will clash in an epic battle of such destructive scale that it will be forever remembered as Titan Death. Welcome to Legions Imperialis.
Welcome, fans, to this very special episode of Legion Imperialis. Your host, JT the Voice here, and boy howdy, have we got a spectacle for you today. Nick and Tack team with brothers Michael and Chris to play a massive game of Legion Imperialis as we reenact a portion of the Horus Heresy, specifically Book 53 in the series by author Guy Haley.
We are here to play Legions Imperialis on probably the most massive battlefield by scale that I've ever played on. This looks amazing.
The traitors are here. Michael, you're ready for some death and destruction?
I am ready. I have claimed the banner of Horus, and we are going to plant it in the city. What's the name of the city? I don't care. We're going to destroy it.
We've assembled over 14,000 total points of Legion Imperialis today in our corner of Nicron City. We've got tanks, we've got troopers, we've even got the Sons of Horus, Justaran Terminators, and of course, we've got Titans.
Normally in Warhammer, you get to play a battle. Legion Imperialis, you get to play a war.
This is the zoomed out, the look of the battlefield. You have Titans, you have planes, you have little tiny infantry scurrying across.
So we're going to see death and destruction on a scale that we've never seen before on the channel, so I'm super stoked to play this.
On the traitor side of things, they've got almost 2,000 points of Marines. There's Justaran Terminators and Deep Strike, Jump Pack Marines, plus Marines inside drop pods. They've got Rhinos to transport more Marines. They've also got Marine fighter support with Xiphon Interceptors and Fire Raptors. The Traitor Guardsmen include infantry squads with axes, Malkador tanks, and some Leman Russes, Sentinels and Marauder bombers with some Lightning Strike fighters. But of course, we can't forget the big boys of the battlefield, the Titans. 5 Warhounds, 2 Reavers, a Warlord, and a War Master with 2 Lancers in support. What a massive force assembled to take Nicron City.
This is the gamble that Dorn has thrown his lot into. Can he take down enough Titans to blunt our attack when we come for the Golden Throne?
The Loyalists are similarly armed. Less Marines, but far more support. They've got Legionnaires and Dreadnoughts, Sicarans and Kratos tanks, Fire Raptors and Xiphon Interceptors. The Guardsmen bring Marauder bombers and Thunderbolts, Baneblades and a huge squad of Leman Russes, Rapier and Tarantula batteries, Malkadors and infantry squads, as well as the Axemen. Their Titans consist of 3 Warhounds, 2 Reavers, a Warlord, a War Master, 2 Cerastus Knight Lancers, and 3 Imperial Knights. That's over 14,000 points of Legio Imperialis on the table today, folks. This is gonna be a massive battle.
There is no holding back. We have to stop the invasion here. Otherwise, the Emperor and home is very much at risk.
Terra itself is at stake, so we have to hold the line.
Our mission is Strongpoint Defense. This is from the campaign book, The Great Slaughter, set during the battle for Beta-Garmon. Defenders have 2 deployment zones to deploy in, and attackers have 1. Attackers automatically have to take the Vital Intel secondary objective, and the defenders automatically have to take the Control the Battlefield secondary objective. Vital Intel is a special piece of intelligence in the middle of the field that the attackers must take back off their board edge. If they do so, they will score a massive 15 secondary points at the end of the game. The defenders have Control the Battlefield as a secondary objective. They will have to have more tactical strength in each quarter in order to score secondary points. Round-to-round scoring is based on holding 5 objectives on the battlefield. Depending on who holds it and when, it'll be worth more or less points. and more points at the end of the game. But ultimately, let's face it, we want to see the Titans go to war. Our sponsor for this epic video today is the Magnet Baron. Quality magnets for your miniatures. They've even put out a whole range of magnetization kits specifically made for Legion Imperialis, so you don't have to commit to a single loadout for your big guns. Posable flight stands, magnetic terrain, and more can all be found on their website. They even have some super handy magnicator tools to help prevent you from mixing up the polarity of their magnets. We know you won't be disappointed with their quality. Check out their website in the link in the description below, and now, back to the Titans!
We're here to play a massive game of Legion Imperialis. This is a 30k combat, a giant war on a standard battlefield size, and it's amazing.
I've always imagined this is something that you would only be able to see at Warhammer World, where you kind of go and see those massive dioramas, those massive battlefields, but they've actually made it a playable game. Our Titans are incredibly good at taking out tanks, at taking out infantry, and taking out all the chaff that's coming at us in waves. We're going to need to decide whether or not we want to thin down their objective holders first, or if we can weather the storm of their Titans coming at our front line.
Exactly. It's a balancing act where we don't want to deny, the smaller the troop, the more likely it's going to be able to hold an objective. An infantry squad can hold an objective better than just about anything else. However, if you ignore the infantry, you lose your objectives. If you ignore the Titans, you end up with a smoking pile of rubble.
Right.
It's the balancing act is going to be the tricky part.
Our first line of defense here, mostly fire first. Our second line, a little bit of moving up to get into range to fire. We've got a few advances here, but not much. We are simply trying to hold the line.
All of our stuff is advancing. Our infantry and our rhinos are marching to get up the board fast, and we have one fire first. That is our Derrideos.
Derrideo dreadnoughts, yep.
In reserve, we still have a unit of drop pods with marines in them to threaten your home objectives. We can bring them in this turn or next.
And a unit of Terminators.
Before we start the first turn, we have to see who gets to activate first. Each of you roll a dice.
Brother, why? Father always liked me best.
Good luck.
I would consult with my ally on which to go first with, but I don't care. I'm going to run these rhinos up.
As the Loyalists move their units up and prepare for firing up the traitorous foes, the Heretics move onto the forward objective to start taking opportunities away from Tak and Chris to score points.
The Warlord has moved up.
Siege Dreadnoughts moved up.
Yep.
The Warmaster Titan, as it steps forward, trembles the ground below. Nothing can stand in its way.
Charge!
The Rhinos unload as Legionnaires pour out to take the forward objective. The traitor Predators respond and move into firing positions. Are the Loyalists already too exposed?
The start of this movement phase is a careful dance of staying in and out of range. Units are going to die in droves this turn, but choosing what units to sacrifice and what units to hold on to and when will be vital for who leaves this war victorious.
We're gonna move our purple Titan here.
Warhound Titans begin to advance upon each other, looking to take each other down. While the traitors continue to bound forward, Tak and Chris are strategically choosing to not move a large portion of their infantry in order to see what Nick and Michael do. The two Las Rifle Tertios, Tarantula Battery, Legion Tactical Detachment, and another Tertio all stay stationary. The traitors have all moved forward, taking cover in the ruins in No Man's Land and pushing the Loyalist lines.
This Titan right here, equipped with missiles and meltas, gonna move up.
Seeing the advancing Titans come closer, the Questoris Knights go into cover up against the walls. Is it a cowardly move, or are they looking for a more opportune time to strike and deal damage?
Dreadnoughts, moved up. Your infantry with the commander is just moving up to hug the wall.
Hug the wall, that's what they do. This Titan is going to now advance. Kind of zoom over there.
Ooh. So this is a smart play by Tak here. So he's moving his Titan up here. It gives him a nice commanding field of this field of fire, but this wall will protect him from some of this fire.
And I move more of my Rapier battery up. So this is going over to here and breaks off the base.
The Blood Angel Legionnaires pouring from the Rhinos have garrisoned the ruined building in hopes of surviving the oncoming wave of traitors.
Dreadnoughts! Support the other Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
What do you think about your flyers?
If I can bring their interceptors in, I feel confident that our missile systems would be able to take them down. I think it's worth the risk for a wing of the Thunderbolts.
Nick and Michael have still not moved their Titans at the back edge. It looks like they're hesitant to bring the guns forward. While they bring forward their legions, the Loyalists move the Dreadnoughts into cover, and the traitors bring the third Warhound Titan forward in step with its brother.
The Cerastus Knights can be hidden behind ruins.
Our Axemen are gonna move all the way to there.
Tak and Chris are electing to keep their bombers off the battlefield for this turn. Nick and Michael hold their drop pods in orbit. Their time for glory will come.
Because of the state of the board, we're going to hold off all of our air support this turn, except for what's already come in. The only ones left with activations is all you.
Free range? Let's do it!
Brilliant charge from that Cerastus into the rapier mortars that are garrisoning that wall. That's going to make them basically completely ineffective. The Warhound Titan moves forward to get in range of the Loyalists.
The Reaver Titan is moving back slightly and pivoting, so it has a clear line of sight on that Warhound Titan, so it can one-shot it with his awesome warp missile. This thing hits on a 2, shield breaker, goes through any void shields, and does a total of 4 damage.
So you're telling me it's a guarantee?
Oh, pretty much a guarantee,
Like a
but every target is
guarantee.
dying.
They've clustered a large portion of their Titan Legion on that one flank, and if we can start to whittle that down, we are in a good position.
I would say so. I think if we can blunt the flank, we can probably survive the worst of the attack and hold the walls for long enough to score some nice points.
The traitor legions bound forward. Legionnaires keep behind the dreadnoughts for cover, and the Malcadors look for a shot.
We have 2 big movements left to make, and then our flyers.
Okay.
The Warmaster Titan trundles forward, towering over the battlefield, a menace to all in its sights. The Warlord Titan also moves forward. It is God Engine versus God Engine.
We're gonna bring in all our flyers. Mahaha!
The Lightnings have zoomed onto the battlefield and immediately into a dogfight with the Thunderbolts, but their missiles have gone awry and missed the targets completely. Marauder bombers soar over the battlefield, dropping their ordnance onto the Warhound Titan on the far edge and obliterating its void shielding, shredding it down to a single wound. That Titan is already on its last legs, and the combat phase hasn't even started yet. A second squad of Lightnings fly over the field and launch their weapons toward the Thunderbolts, but their weapons miss as well. Those Thunderbolts are still fully intact. Fire Raptors descend in front of the Rhinos, looking to wreak havoc.
Everything is moved.
Everything is moved.
Woo!
The pieces are all on the board. I have a feeling this is where things start to. We're about to eat a slug to the face, I think. I
Yes,
think
they're
we're
gonna,
about-
you're gonna get to shoot first at us, and that's gonna be devastating.
You rolled for initiative. You
I
got
did.
us initiative.
I did.
And so now the fire first is going to be so clutch.
Yes. The priority is to kill the Titans before they can kill us. I think is the name of the game, because a dead Titan can't shoot back.
Right.
So ideally, we hope to see a couple fireballs go up on that side of the table. My Malcadors are going to pump all their last cannon shots into the Warhound with the dual Titan flamers.
Malcador shot has taken down the Warhound shields and the Titan to a wound remaining. 2 wounded Titans and the war has only begun.
So now my laser rapier batteries are going to go ahead and open up on the damaged Titan and see if I can't put it down for good.
Goodbye,
Let's
Titan.
See them 4s.
4s, I'm gonna make all of them.
That's it.
No. Titan death!
The rapier carriages have downed that Titan and it explodes. The ensuing carnage costs a Titan a void shield, destroys a Rhino, and takes a squad of Las Rifle Tertios to absolute dust.
Apparently the answer to a Warhound Titan is volume.
Yes, I think if you throw enough rocks at something, it is definitely going to be having a bad day.
Right. So that is 1 Titan down.
1 Titan down. Only how many more to go?
A lot.
A lot. All right, so now my Baneblade are going to split fire. They're going to put their point defense heavy bolters into the infantry squad over here, and all their main cannons into the Titan that was hit by the other Titan's blast.
Heavy bolters have done absolutely nothing to the infantry, while the rest of the weapons going to the Titan bring it to 2 wounds remaining.
It's limping. You killed his toe. He can't step properly.
Split fire between the Leman Rustus and the Warhound if you think you're going to overkill the Warhound.
Yeah, I think that might be the better way to do it, although there's no guarantee I actually make that hit.
Splitting fire with the Loyalist Reaver, volcano cannons try to kill the White Warhound, and the laser Gatler into the Leman Russes. 3 dead Russes and a dead Titan. Only 1 Dreadnought down from that Titan engine kill, but that's 2 dead Titans already.
We're getting a nice tally up turn 1.
And we're realizing another thing about the way that they've clustered their army. explosions.
Yes, the chain reaction is just so nice to see.
We've lost 2 Warhounds already.
No, you've lost 2 Warhounds.
We've lost 2
You
Warhounds.
are the Titan Princeps. I am the Sons of Horus commander. I don't have any Titans.
The Leman Russes have failed the morale check and are turning around and fleeing the battle for now. They are not going to be able to shoot this turn.
Realistically, it just watched 2 Titans just explode catastrophically.
He's allowed to have a little bit of a mind freak.
Yeah, I feel like that's like, yeah, okay.
Loyalist Leman Russes bombard the traitors with massive firepower as their cannons wipe 3 squads of infantry from the field.
Kratos Squadron is going to fire into the Leviathan Dreadnoughts.
The Loyalist Kratos have taken down the traitor Leviathan Dreads.
That is our fire first, and I think that was an incredibly successful fire first phase.
I would agree.
All right, we move on to the engagement phase, and the Knights are trying to kill the rapier mortars that are in combat on the wall there.
The Knight of Trapos into the rapier mortars has cleared that building out pretty easily.
The engagement phase is done. Now it's on to the rest of the firing for the advancing firing.
At this point now,
Yeah.
fire first was great, but now we're cultivating our shots.
Yes.
I would love to keep our infantry alive.
Agreed?
That's gonna be really hard to do with that much bearing down on them. But the Sicarans are really good at taking out flyers.
Yes.
We're talking about what we want to go first, is they get to fire first, right? They get to pick the first thing. So it's a back and forth thing. We want to try and knock out whatever one of their high priority is.
Yeah.
So I think is depending on which one they go for determines what our secondary, because yeah, you're right, this or that, realistically.
My recommendation would
Yeah.
be either we go with the Reaver Titan with the
take
missile
this
pod
out,
to get
yeah.
this guy out,
Or
we go with the gunships before
To
they die.
take out, yeah, before they die. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
If they're so gung-ho on taking out that Reaver Titan, does it get one last hurrah?
I mean, he can give it a go. Let's see if we can mulch some tanks.
You know what's time for? It's time for a warp missile.
You are so absurdly sure.
I know that one.
He said it so many times. It's a sure thing,
Guaranteed.
everyone. Guaranteed. I'm just, every time he says that, my teeth, like the back of my teeth are like,
My first set of Vulcan Mega Bolters are going to fire into the Sicarans, and the second into the juicy little rhinos over there.
well, they're not juicy, but okay.
Advance and fire will start with the Warhound Titan taking down 3 rhinos. The legionary commander and his retinue clamber out of the destroyed vehicle.
All right, so 6 guys hop out.
The traitor Kratos targets the opposing Sicaran tanks and has picked them up.
I am going to shoot my Thunderbolts into their Lightning Fighters. Thunderbolts, not maneuverable, not fast, but what they lack in fastness, they make up in punch.
4 ups. I saved 3, but you killed the squad. Those lightnings have just. I think we should go with the other lightnings now.
I don't know, that sounds like words out of someone who just lost a bunch of fighters.
Only slightly ignoring Michael's advice, Nick fires the Fire Raptors into the Tarantulas and they are completely obliterated.
Because they have an advance order on their infantry down there, I think we should go with our infantry.
Good old-fashioned gunfight.
My Legion Tactical Detachment is going to fire at your Legion Tactical Detachment.
Blood Angels firing on the Sons of Horus take down 3 units of 5. 15 Marines fall to a hail of bolter fire.
I think it's time for the War Master. This big giant Titan is in range of your Reaver Titan, and we're just gonna fire everything at him.
War Master unloads into the Reaver Battle Titan. Will it survive everything that is thrown at it?
Hitting on 3s?
Our Reaver Battle Titan has lost 2 of its void shields, but has 2 remaining.
Yes, sir.
2 dice from this giant missile array into that Reaver Titan as well. It's a 5-inch blast.
This weapon is a blast weapon, meaning that if you can target a place in the battlefield, roll a scatter dice, and everything that ends up underneath that acrylic blast marker can potentially be hit.
That is a hit.
Missile fire removes the Reaver Titan's void shields, and a Baneblade and Leman Russ are removed from the battle as well. Surviving Baneblade fails its morale and will be turning around in retreat.
All right, so we are going to take this Reaver Titan. It's going to be Reaver Titan versus Reaver Titan.
Loyalist Reaver Titan, shooting at the enemy Reaver, only removes 3 of its void shields. That will be a challenge to deal with later.
I think the play is we almost kill that Titan, and we have some other shots around the table that can pick it up.
We are going to fire the Reaver Titan. We're going to fire all of its guns into the Reaver Titan.
Oh,
Kill it.
no.
Warp Missile hits on a 2. In addition, it bypasses void shields. In addition, it does a total of 4 damage with.
In addition, I won't say it out loud, but all of you are thinking this right now.
I have to not roll a 1, and then you have to not roll a 6 to save. Oh, it's a 6! The missile arcs through the air. Boom! Impacts against the Titan's hull.
This potentially just like wipes out the Titan.
Yeah, we could have a serious situation on our hands.
Here we go. That's a 6!
You promised, Nick. You promised.
I said it had the potential for damage.
No,
it
you
wasn't
promised.
guaranteed.
The warp missile is avoided. The one-time use weapon is no longer available, and the Loyalists are shaking a little less in their boots now.
Ah, no!
Wow, that was cool.
Then his arm gun, 3 shots, sitting on 4s, 1 hit.
I'm okay. I'm so confused because I thought that was gonna go down and then we'd have to like do something fancy. But no, fancy's not necessary.
Destruction's on the menu.
All of his guns can go into the Warhound. All right.
Warlord Titan fires everything into the smaller Warhound and absolutely obliterates it. The ensuing engine death doesn't kill anything else around it, but that is 3 dead Titans for the traitors.
We're gonna fire everything from the Warlord Titan into the Reaver Titan, try to kill us. 1 dice from the Bellicosa cannon, hitting on a...
He's now shooting a Bellicosa volcano cannon at us. What do you think our odds are?
Better than 0, but not great.
Hitting on a 2! That's a hit!
Uh-oh.
Reaver Titan has gone up in flames from the Warlord, a Malkador tank takes a wound, and a squad of infantry are again reduced to paste in the explosion.
He one-shot a Reaver Titan. But you know what? It's a Warlord Titan versus a Reaver Titan. This is the type of destruction you want to see in a game like this. So now we are going to go with the Warhound Titan, the yellow Warhound Titan over here, barely in the front arc. It's going to go into your Cerastus Knights. So missile launcher first, we'll see what happens. Hitting on a 3. I hit.
That's a hit with -4, which I don't save.
Traitor Lightning shoot into the Malkadors and only manage to kill 1 tank and take a wound off another. Not a great round of shooting.
I did a little bit there.
Questoris Knights fire into the oncoming Traitor fighters, but they evade the incoming shots.
I save it. Double 5!
Spicy.
So we're gonna go with the Reaver Titan next, and he's gonna fire everything into these Malkadors. Gatling Blaster!
Ayo.
The Reaver Titan has blown up a Malkador. That causes them to fail a morale check, and 2 squads of tanks are falling back from the battle. Warhound Titan only manages to kill a single Loyalist Rhino. That was a lot of misses and required an accurate reroll to even take out the single one.
I think you can shoot the Fire Raptors with those little dreadnoughts.
Blood Angel Dreadnoughts fire into the Fire Raptors, but their shooting is ineffective.
Ha, I saved it.
We are saving the best for last.
Yes.
I'm gonna start with my Predators. 3 Predators firing everything they got into your wounded
And
Warhound
Void
in the back
Shield
there.
less.
And Void Shield less.
Oh yeah,
That's
we've almost
correct.
killed this one.
So looking for force. And then these are not accurate. Oh, I see a 2.
Ah, I got it too!
Engine kill.
Warhound Titan falls to the Predator cannons, but the explosion doesn't damage anything thanks to some lucky rolls from TAC.
Save the best for last.
Plasma Annihilator. Suzerain Plasma Annihilator.
Only problem is we don't really have a lot in range.
That Warmaster is equipped with a host of weapons, but the ranges are remarkably short. Few of its weapons have range to hit something on the way far end of the table, but to make most of its firepower, it needs to target something close by.
So I think we just put everything into bombers
Fair enough.
and just take them out. Mega bolters first. I got 1 6 in there, and then trying again.
3 up. The Marauder Bomber Squads are gone. I didn't think he'd fire a whole War Master Titan at him.
To be fair, that was the only thing that thing could see.
The Loyalists are finished their shooting. The traitors have a lot of guns left to fire, but what's going to be left standing? Traitor Sakarans shoot into the Warhound Titan, but only takes a wound.
And he's got 3 wounds remaining.
Quad mortar firing into the Blood Angels. Chris makes the saves. Legionnaires fire the same unit and take down 1 squad. Heavy Sentinels into the Warhound bring it to 2 wounds left.
These dreadnoughts over here are gonna put their shots into the rhinos.
I saved 2, fail 1. We're not down half yet, so no morale checks necessary.
Missile launchers of the Tactical Marine Detachment shoot the Loyalist Malkadors, and 1 more is destroyed. The Sponson las cannons into the same Malkador and strip a wound off it. The last Malkador is down to 1 wound remaining.
Predators over here are all gonna fire into the garrisoned Rapier las cannons.
Predator tanks shoot the garrison unit of las cannons on the wall and are completely wiped from the battlefield.
That was a lot of destruction for 1 single turn.
It was cool!
What a turn of destruction. End of this turn, the Soul Malkador and the Baneblade have fled, but both passed their rally test, meaning they're going to get back in the fight next turn. The traitor Leman Russes also pass and makes his way back onto the battlefield. Lastly, the cleanup phase. Non-hovering flyers all zoom off the field to come back on next turn, and the Titans will attempt to regenerate their Void Shields. The two Traitor Reavers have successfully regenerated most of the Void Shields, but the Loyalist Warhound near the enemy lines has failed to reignite his Void Shields. He's going to be very vulnerable come next turn.
And then, lastly, we score for the end of the turn.
All in all, Loyalists have overseen a brutal turn of firepower. All those first fire orders really took their toll, but the traitors are closing in. 12-0 for the Loyalists as they hold all of the objectives, but I don't know if they can keep that up. The Loyalists lost a lot of their anti-air capabilities, and the traitors have a lot of aircraft in reserve. Loyalists too have aircraft in reserve, but it's going to be who comes in when.
So we end this turn, we've lost 3 Warhound Titans. They've lost a Reaver Titan and a Warhound Titan.
And one's limping pretty good.
Yeah,
One's
so
got a
I
limp.
think that's a decent trade-off.
Yeah.
We killed a lot of their armor
We did.
and a decent amount of their infantry.
A lot of their anti-aircraft is now off the field.
Yes, meaning that we have a bit more free range with our aircraft in this next turn.
I was feeling pretty okay, and then I took another look at the battlefield and realized where used to be Titans, there are still more Titans behind them.
Yes, we've dealt with the first wave, but that's the problem with Imperialis. There's always more waves.
I'm hoping we can use some of our fighters to try and strip some of the Void Shields off of some of those bigger, heavier Titans in the background before they vaporize too much of my precious Sons of Horus.
Turn 2 is where the Ceramite meets the Plascrete. Here we go!
Do we kill infantry and things that are able to control objectives, or do we continue to go after the Titans?
I think we did a good enough job last turn against the Titans. We can afford to direct a few of the shots into the infantry and see if we can't whittle them down a smidge before they get up to the objective.
Right. As a defender, we do have an advantage of already being on those objectives. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go back into fire first. They have to come to us.
Exactly. We're not going to make it easy for them. We're going to make sure every inch of ground given is bought with blood.
We have to be careful about them coming in and stealing these objectives. While they're worth 3 to us, they're worth 5 to them if they hold both. I would really love if we win initiative again.
I would love that too.
Our strategy for trying to take that jutting out position
Yes.
didn't really work. So I think we need to double down on that though.
I think so too.
The unit of Leman Russes is still pretty strong, and that yellow Warhound Titan
Yes.
has shredder missiles.
Yeah, we got to
They
be
can
careful.
annihilate an entire unit of infantry by himself.
We got to be pretty smart about how we play this next part.
We have our orders down now. Most of our stuff is advancing yet again. We do, however, have a couple first fires on the board. For instance, the Warlord Titan, prime target for a first fire. The Kratos is first firing. The Predators are first firing. The Sakarans are first firing. And lastly, the other Predators are first firing.
Everything getting ready to charge as fast as possible on the traitor side. Loyalists are being a little conservative with their movement, but have a few shenanigans of their own plan. You can tell that the potential of deep striking Terminators and drop pods has made them a bit nervous.
So now it's initiative.
Who goes first? Tak and Chris really want the initiative. It'll allow them to get the first volley off in each phase, which could be big this turn.
Dang it.
We got it! First turn is ours.
Oh boy.
Is it time for the Justarians to take the field?
I believe it is.
All right, City of Nikron, you are doomed.
Prepare to be burninated.
A couple charges that we might want to consider. The Cerastus Knight charging in to plug that gap.
I'm
might be a
thinking
good
that's
idea.
the best way to go.
Cerastus Knight charges into both units at that wall, blocking any way for the Loyalists to be able to get around the battlefield that direction. Tak and Chris respond by charging the Cerastus Knights into the Death Guard Rhinos mid-table. Sons of Horus Legionnaires hop out of the Rhino transports, and the Rhinos surge forward.
I'm protecting you with my body.
What a smart idea. Like, you're pretty much blocking this knight from charging all the infantry.
Not to be thwarted by the blocking action, the other Cerastus Knight charges into the other side to fight the newly embarked Legionnaires.
I suggest you overwatch.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
As the Knight Lancer charges in, Nick and Michael decide to overwatch with the Sakarans now. Means they can't fire later this turn, and they will fire this overwatch at -2 to hit, but you can't fire at all if you're dead.
Accurate rule. Just one.
See a 4. We got it.
We got it.
4 sponson mounted las cannons with the anti-tank rule. Oop, there's another one.
We don't got it.
1 wound goes through.
Traitor las rifles garrison to the wall that was cleared out of the previous turn. Loyalist las rifle tertio gets out of the building in the back to surrounding the rear objective.
Why don't I move these rhinos over here?
The disembarking infantry.
Rhinos disgorge the legions to the wall and surge forward.
I think if we want to play it a little bit safe, I can guarantee liquidate this unit well before they get a chance to get into cover.
Yes.
Let's do it! Carpet bombing!
Marauder bombers come flying in low over the battlefield and drop their payload onto the Legionnaire squad in front of that wall. They take out half of the unit, but they still hold strong as they pass morale. Infantry advance toward the Loyalist Warhound Titan. The lone Malcador turns around after falling back to support his front line and hold that center objective.
What I'm saying is I can go over here.
This.
What I'm saying is I can go over here as long as you move the infantry out of the way of the beam, or I'm going to kill them.
All right, we still have the War Master who can move, and we have a Baneblade and some Dreadnoughts.
Loyalist Tarantulas hold their position, guarding that rear objective. They're waiting for any aerial targets to fire at. Death Guard Contemptor Dreadnoughts moving up to get more targets to shoot at, while the Loyalist Las Rifle Tertio continues to huddle around the rear objective to keep it secure from possible drops into the backfield. Quad mortars move forward while more garrisons happen in the rear of the battle.
We're going to go garrison this building instead.
So jump from building to building.
Yep. With the goal of just preparing for possible Terminators or drop pods.
A real attempt here from the Loyalist Infantry to try to make it difficult for the Traitor Deep Strikes to come in and take those objectives. When you arrive from Deep Strike, you potentially scatter off target, and depending on where you land, your whole unit could just be destroyed.
So right now it's looking through the hole at the Titan because it can see the backside of the Titan.
TAC can see what the opposing Reaver Titan's trying to do here and subtly moves the Warhound out of the way to avoid any shots.
More Dreadnoughts moving
More
up.
dreadnoughts moving up.
Daredales march forward, getting to grips with the enemy as soon as they can. Loyalists hold their positions while the Traitor Sentinels huddle behind the Warhound Titan. Massive block of units in that small space. Titan engine kill there would be absolutely devastating to the Traitors.
Ooh, they're moving out. They're coming out of the barricade.
Las Rifle Tertio units exit the wall to get shots at possible incursions in the rear. TAC rotates one of the knights to give them angles of fire against any units trying to assail the wall.
The Axe Infantry charge up the field as fast as they can go using a march order, getting ready for next turn deep charge.
Loyalist knights hold their position and the Traitor Legion moves forward only but a little. War Master Titan has moved up to the gap in the wall. What an imposing monstrosity, daring anyone to enter the city.
Our Ogren is marching forward and getting onto the objective marker over here.
So what we're going to do here is we are going to change the order.
Master Tactician, special rule from the Blood Angel Chapter Master, which allows a nearby unit to change its order token. That's going to let those infantry charge instead. Surprise, Blood Angels! You look a lot like Horus. Wait, that's not for a few more years. Sons of Horus Dreadnoughts moving up the battlefield underneath the shadow of the Loyalist bombers.
I think we just activate and say we're going to shoot and clean up a lot of that stuff.
Seems reasonable.
The Sons of Horus have moved to get near the Reaver Battle Titan, and the Loyalist Thunderbolts have taken the field. Traitor Malcadors move forward, and Fire Raptors return to the battlefield hungry for more targets. Xiphon Interceptors onto the field in front of the Warlord Titan. Warhound Titan is now close enough to fire its Ursus Claw at the Loyalist forces, a devastating weapon to be sure. With TAC and Chris choosing to keep their other squad of Xiphon Interceptors in reserve, the Traitors have free reign to move about the battlefield as they please with the remainder of their units. Warhound moving forward to get into melter range of the Loyalist Warhound. The War Master moves closer to the walls of the city, and if this doesn't start taking damage soon, it may be too little too late when they do start firing at it.
And then lastly, our last Reaver Titan is going to move up as well. The Death God, with their limited contribution.
Wow.
Hey guys, we're helping.
So I'm going to change it to a charge.
Perfect.
I want to charge these guys.
Oh, I love it. I think move up to double.
Yeah, so kind of like this.
Now we've got a fight in our hands.
The Blood Angels fire Overwatch at the charging Legionnaires and take out a squad.
Let's do the deep strike.
Waiting for it. Let's do deep strike.
Bring in the drop pods.
Drop pods land from low orbit and into the rear of the battlefield.
Ooh.
While they do scatter, they do so towards their target, fortunately.
Models inside disembark within 2 of those, but one outside of 1 inch of the enemy. I think the Terminators are going to go over here.
And the Terminators have landed in the rear and scatter closer to the objective. Bit of luck there.
And then Interceptor happens. They have Interceptor, so one of their weapons. Let's fire at the Thunderbolt. Tempest rockets with Skyfire. -2, so 3 on 4s to hit.
I chink at 5. No, that's a wound. That's a lightning down.
Second squad of Interceptors fires into the Thunderbolts as well, but all of the shots miss. Lightning's out of the field, take out another Thunderbolt, 1 remaining Thunderbolt in that squadron.
That was the end of the movement phase. That was fantastic. I'm really happy with that.
Rolling. All right, we are in the first fire phase.
This Warlord Titan is gonna fire everything here because I can't really split fire.
Charges its main weapons to annihilate the Scout Titan. A narrow miss from its plasma, but its Bellicosa cannon zeroes in and obliterates it. Engine kill.
So I think we should do what damage we can to what's going to be the most threatening in the next few minutes.
Leman Russ's open fire into the last Rifle Tertio, 3 of them falling. Cannons go to the Ursus Claw Warhound Titan, strip its Void Shields, leave it with 2 wounds left.
All right, Kratos are going to first fire, and they're going to go into your Kratos.
Kratos on Kratos action. Nothing gets through. Armor has held. Those same tanks respond, take the Warhound Titan shields away, bring it to 2 wounds remaining.
I think the Predators are going to go first fire into these guys over here. I think that's the play.
Treader Predators firing into the Kratos leaves 1 a smoking pile of twisted ceramite.
So Bellicosa cannon, 1 shot is going into the Orange Titan. All the rest of its guns will go into the other color Titan.
On a 3! It's a hit!
That's a big
Bellicosa hits!
Oh wow, the Warlord Titan opens up. It destroys the Warhound, takes the Void Shields off the neighbor Titan, and it's down to 2 wounds left. The explosion has killed a squad of Legionnaires.
Only other one we got, other Predator over there, are going to fire into your Marauder Bombers.
The other Trader Predator squad shooting into the Marauder Bombers, and absolutely no effect. Reaver Battle Titan opens up to the damaged Warhound, just failing saves left and right. That Titan death explosion takes out another squad of Legionnaires, but the rest of the units survive.
So that was pretty good from 2 Titans.
I'd say so. I think if we manage to donk the Reavers, that kind of goes into the Titan death where like we've stunted Legio Mortis pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Entering close combat, Cerasus Knight against Questoris, and the Loyalist Knight loses and takes a wound. Cerasus also fights the infantry beside it and takes down 2 squads of infantry, but costs itself 2 wounds in the process. Because the Knight was the better in the combat, the Questoris and infantry have to take morale tests, and they both pass. The wall holds. Loyalist Questoris fighting the massive mob of tanks and infantry takes out a tank and 4 squads of infantry, but succumb to being completely surrounded by the traitorous scum.
You got a Cerasus Knight against some rhinos.
Death Guard Rhinos fight next to the Loyalist Cerasus and can't do anything against that spear. 2 of them fall.
And then I guess we start with the
2 on 1, 1 on 1, 3 on 1, 1 on 2, 3 on 1.
A massive battle between the Sons of Horus and Blood Angels erupts with bloody hand-to-hand combat and leaves very few survivors. 2 squads of Blood Angels, 2 Rhinos, 2 squads of Death Guard, including the commander, are all cut down in the melee. Even though the traitors have lost this fight, the morale still holds.
All right, moving into the advanced fire step. The Warhound Titan is firing its beam weapon at the infantry holding the objective.
The beam weapon has fired. It's got the potential to damage friend and foe alike, but the Titan threads the needle, taking out 2 infantry bases and damaging 1 of the Blood Angels' Kratos.
Could I please have a leadership check on this?
I am so sorry.
That's okay.
Blood Angels fail the morale check, are going to fall back this turn. They're fleeing from that objective they were commanded to hold. That is brutal, and it's going to cost them points.
Everything in the Fire Raptors are going to go into the Auxilia.
Fire Raptors absolutely annihilate the Solar Auxilia.
Our interceptors try to kill your interceptors.
Traitor Xiphon interceptors fire everything into the Loyalist twins and blow them out of the sky. Questoris Knight fires into the Cerasus, and its blasters destroy the Knight attempting to burst through the lines.
We got him. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Traitor Dreadnoughts fire the Blood Angel Rhinos and wipe them out.
They're all gone.
2 battle cannons into the Axemen.
Yes.
Velatari falls to cannon shots from the other Questoris Knight.
Terminators into infantry.
And they have the assault word.
Terminators that deep struck into the back lines have taken that objective. It belongs to the traitors now. It's up to the Space Marines garrisoning the nearby building to take them down to hold the objective.
Hitting on 4s.
So 5 up. Nope. So you killed 1. And then you've got 4 bolters.
Medicae.
Nope. And no.
Heavy Sentinels target the lone Cerastus Knight, but its shield deflects all of the fire.
We got all 4s.
Last rifles, and we just try to wipe out the remaining.
I think so.
Garrison las rifles fire to the opposing infantry. The shots do not land.
So the War Master is going to fire his 2 arm-mounted big giant guns at the Warhound Titan.
Warmaster Titan unleashes its firepower into that gap in the wall. The missiles hit the infantry knights, the Warhound Titan, but it gives up only a wound to the Warhound, and everything else fails to land.
Caesarian class plasma destructor.
Massive cannons on its arms down the Warhound Titan. The last major defense of the wall is down. Tarantulas into the drop pods. Managed to take out 2. Reaver Battle Titan fires into the Warlord, but only takes out 2 Void Shields.
So 2 void shields down of a lot.
A lot.
Warmaster Titan into the Augmented Legionnaires, and both are absolutely incinerated.
This Reaper Titan into that War Master.
Second Reaver Titan shoots the Warlord, and it's down to a single Void Shield, slowly but surely taking out its defenses.
So the Dreadnoughts are going to just try to maybe take out the last.
Okay, you got 1 that can't fire. You got 3 that can.
Dreadnoughts into the remaining las rifles, but only take out 1. There is a lone rifle squad left. Mortars from the quad launcher pound the Blood Angels to paste, clearing the objective to be taken next turn by the traitors.
Infantry with rocket launchers. That's just all rocket launchers.
Yep.
Got a 4 up. Nope. I take a wound. Who's got 2 wounds remaining?
Baneblades firing into the Fire Raptors, and yes, tanks shooting at planes, but the Fire Raptors are gone. Lightnings into the Warlord in an attempt to remove that last Void Shield, and they do so. The Titan is completely exposed.
Malcador is going to try now. So 2 hits on 4 up with Armor Bane as well. Got them both.
Nice. So I have 4 ups. Make 1. I'm okay.
Warlord Titan has 6 wounds. You're down to 5.
Okay.
So yeah, you have nothing else to fall back because everything died that fell back for you.
That's the same for you. You've got no fallbacks.
Yeah, because our guys are brave.
At the end of the phase, Loyalist Warlord regenerates 4 of his Void Shields, and the traitors have reignited their shields as well. Board's in an interesting place out of turn 2. Tak and Chris have managed to prevent the traitors from holding the top middle objective, but they only hold 2 of the objectives in the city, meaning they're only scoring 4 points total. Since the traitors only hold 1 of the 2 middle objectives, and the other objectives are worth less points, they will score 3 points each still, puts the score 16-6 as we head to turn 3. Note, the traitors have not yet managed to make any progress on their secondary objective to grab that vital info in the center of the battlefield. With objective markers swinging the way they are, making sure you score your secondary objective might be the difference between victory and defeat in this game.
The battlefield is covered in fire and destruction. Corpses of god machines and men litter the battlefield. The Loyalists hold. For now. With a scream of their war horns, the traitors advance across the battlefield. The Loyalists desperately move to hold onto the edge of the city, throwing bodies into the fray. Loyalist bombers desperately scream back onto the battlefield and collapse the Reaver Titan's Void Shield. It comes at great risk, and the fighters are scrambled to intercept. Missiles fly and the bombers go down in flames. Dreadnoughts surround and destroy the Loyalist Knight Cerastist. Blood Angel Kratoses nearly eliminate traitor Sakaran tanks. Across the battlefield, a Warhound goes down ingloriously to a Blood Angel Contemptor Fist. The battle turns ugly for the Loyalists. The Lehman Russ squadron is reduced to scrap. Fire Raptors brought down. The enemy Titans are proving too strong. They must take them down. With desperation, a Loyalist Thunderbolt fighter sets his sights on the Reaver Titan and fires his missiles. And scores a lucky hit. The Reaver has fallen.
Engine kill! We have engine kill!
Using the distraction, the Loyalist Warlord Titan fires everything it has into the last remaining Reaver Titan. taking it down in a flurry of fire. The forward positions have been retaken for the Emperor. The Loyalists still hold. Half the battlefield is firmly in their control, but for how much longer? The traitors see their chance and rush forward to secure the vital intel. The War Master is very eager to see this intel in person. Across the battlefield, the Loyalists move forward, all firepower direct towards their incoming Titans.
Sweep them away. We must hold.
Meanwhile, the rear command post has fallen to the Sons of Horus. The unaugmented soldiers were no match for the Astartes. Forced to choose between protecting the city and itself, the Loyalist War Master sweeps the battlefield and destroys the dreadnoughts and sentinels threatening the city. In return, the traitor War Master takes advantage of the situation and mercilessly fires all into the Loyalist Warlord Titan. The reactor goes nova, bathing the battlefield in a brilliant white light.
Feel the fury of an unleashed god machine.
The Loyalists are left reeling. Very little of the defenders remain. Nikron and all the servants of the false Emperor will burn.
So much is dead, so much is gone. We have only 2 Titans left. The War Master has survived, and the Warlord is just barely holding on there.
We were able to kill enough off of those objectives, and we're keeping it close.
We're close, but it's not looking too hot for this final round.
No, because in that last turn, we lost the Warlord Titan.
I don't really have much of an idea other than just throwing bodies on and making Tak and Christopher choose to have to fire their very valuable Titans on fodder. I think that's the play.
The War Master is keeping us in this game because it is taking out everything and anything that's trying to get that objective. But now we've got a Warlord Titan bearing down on it.
Do you clear the objectives or do you kill the Titans that are attacking and assailing you? Which is it gonna be?
We gotta win that moral victory. Legio Mortis cannot hit the walls of Terra. We stop them here, we stop them now.
All right, we've got our orders down. We have first fire on our 2 big Titans. We have march on all our little infantry. We have charge on our dreadnoughts, and we have advance with everything else.
We've got charge on both of our knights here, but we're advancing with pretty much everything else. All that we have left.
Them coming to us, and we will pay that back in blood.
Loyalists are in a very precarious position here. Vital Intel Secondary is moments from being scored, and there's very little they can do to stop it. The Loyalists have a single hope. If they can sweep the traitors off the middle 2 objectives, there might still be a path to victory, but it is slim. Barring that, it may be time to sell their souls dearly and take as many of these heretics down with them as they can. If Legio Mortis can be crippled here on the battlefield, Holy Terra might still stand a chance.
We stand here, we die here for the Emperor!
Brother. Death to the false Emperor. Death to the false Emperor.
Dreadnoughts charge the Loyalist Velatari, but Tak and Chris charge their Quaestorus Knight in the same unit. Those Dreadnoughts may not have the upper hand anymore in close combat.
Now we run away.
These rhinos are holding onto the vital intelligence, and they're running off the board to score us 15 points.
Watching those rhinos just zoom away with that intelligence just kind of crushes your soul a little bit, doesn't it?
That's a coward's act.
Other Quaestorus Knight charges the Predators, making them unable to advance. Michael, responding with Overwatch, reduces the Knight to a single wound remaining, but they're still going to be in combat.
Malcadors, move it up.
Malcadors move up to get more units on the forward objective.
Song of the Emperor in your heart.
Reaver Titan is closer to that objective now, within sight for all its weapons. The traitors will have to contend with that to hold on to the objective.
Yes. Lehman Russ, take the objective.
War Master stomps forward to hold the forward objective as well. The traitors want points. They will have to go to the Titan to get them. The Sons of Horus look so small up against the feet of that War Master, but if that Titan goes down, it's possible they'll survive and hold the objective.
So they're going to change their order to march,
Oh, that's brilliant.
and they're going to just
They're gonna try to take the objective from us.
Let's see if they survive long enough to hold it.
Xiphon interceptors get close to the units all crowded around the same objective, the amount of units and damage in that small area could make a real messy Titan death. Infantry move to get within range of the center objective to score points and hold the area from the enemy. Predators crowd the objective. That Titan has got a lot to deal with.
Hello, friend.
And then I'm going to bring in 2 lightnings.
Oh no.
Warmaster fires first. Small arms remove 2 units of infantry from the objective, and then it unleashes its missile upon the opposing Warmaster.
On 3s.
Turns to fire its twin Vulcan mega bolters at the Warmaster. With all of the firepower, the Warmaster stands strong. Its void shields are gone and is exposed to all the shooting is left, but what do they have that can kill it?
We only have 7 wounds to chew through. Void shield's gone. Now it's time for the Warlord to step up.
Let's snip those heals. Surely you have this.
Can we kill this with this? Yeah, let's do the bolt turrets.
5 shots on 5s. So Bellicosa first is 1 shot.
That's a hit.
Then we have the Sun Fury Plasma Annihilator. That's 3 shots on 3s.
Oh, triple
Ones. Paired Turbo Laser Destructors.
From the bolt cannons, turbo destructors.
Save 1.
Save 1, fail 1, so that takes a whole point off of us. 6s. Ah,
1 wound.
stand firm, brother. We survived. We're crippled. Our engine is broken, but our spirit lives on.
We live on with 1 wound.
1 wound.
Unfortunately, that top middle objective is now overwhelmed by traitors, and even the might of the Warmaster is not enough to hold that objective. With 3 of the 5 objectives firmly in the traitors' hands, and no way to control enough table quarters to score their secondary, the traitors' vital info even now being delivered to the hands of Horus himself, the battle is truly lost. It is time for death or glory!
So at the end of the day, being a Princeps of a Titan is a very proud position. And being a proud individual, I don't feel right leaving another Princeps on the field, taking my glory, standing on my soil, on my land, my planet, my system. I think it's time for you to die.
The Loyalist Warmaster sits on a single wound remaining. The opposing Warlord Titan, surrounded by traitors at its feet. It fires everything into its traitor battle brother. Legio Mortis must be stopped, or the legions will be in the Sol system and Holy Terra, and Lord Dorn and the Solar Protectorate will have yet another challenge to face as the siege of Terra will begin. Can the Warmaster take it down?
Oh, the defense batteries.
5s. We've got another hit. A mega bolters. Very much like to see some 6s. Let's see the second batch.
So we're gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No! The Warmaster guns have run cold. The machine spirit has abandoned them. Despite such a magnificent speech from Chris, it seems the Warmaster Titan will get the last word.
Without respect or honor, the traitors fire at the Warmaster with mere tanks. The heavy shells pierce the armor of the Warmaster and hit the core, causing an immediate meltdown. The subsequent explosion destroys everything around it. The Warmaster has fallen. The city has been taken. There will be few survivors. The way to Terra is now open. The Solar War is about to begin.
Fantastic game from all 4 players. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I had a lot of fun watching. I hope you enjoyed what we presented today. Thank you, Games Workshop, for getting us early access to this stuff. We really appreciate it. Fantastic job, Brent and Mubin, on the assembly. And Tycho, once again, what an amazing paint job. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this battle, please like and follow or share with your friends. Or, if you really like what we do, please consider supporting us through YouTube membership or Patreon. You'll get exclusive releases as well as behind-the-scenes interviews, early access to most of our shows, and access to our Discord, the most happening 40K community around. Another special thanks to our sponsor, the Magnet Baron. Quality magnets for your miniatures. Make sure to check them out at the link in the description below. That's it for all of us here at the Play On Studios. This is your host, JT the Voice, saying, until the next time you see us in the far-flung future of a grim, dark universe, play on!